Hi everybody, I'm Sheryl Kahn. A freak accident at a kids' baseball game could have ended in tragedy, but quick action by parents and firefighters saved one lucky player's life. 6-year-old Oscar Stubbe's parents could barely hold back tears while meeting the firefighters that helped save their son's life.
Thank you so much.
Oscar is doing well, enjoying the tour of an ambulance Chief Maddie gave him and his brothers. He doesn't recall riding in it or anything else that happened after he was hit in the chest by a baseball during a game at Phipps Park. You don't remember anything?
No.
But his parents will never forget it or how it felt to realize that just like what happened to the Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin, their little boy's heart had stopped.
Just an unspectacular pop fly to center field that hit him wrong at the wrong time, and the 40th millisecond window of his heartbeat and the impact stopped his heart.
So I called 911 and ran to him and ended up doing CPR. I'm a nurse. I've done it once before in a hospital setting, but never as a mom to my own child. When I was doing the compressions about, in a minute and a half into it, I was realizing, this is my son. We are at a baseball game. This shouldn't be happening, but this is the reality. And, I was starting to break down a little bit, starting to cry.
When it became overwhelming, another mom, who's a physician's assistant, took over until firefighters arrived. Luckily, their base at Station 2 is right next door to the park.
He was completely unresponsive. He was not breathing, and he did not have a pulse. So he was, for all intents and purposes, without intervention, not going to make it.
After a short stay at the hospital and physical therapy, Oscar's parents say he's back to his old self. But there is one difference for Oscar and his brothers. They now wear chest protectors underneath their uniforms. Their parents are urging others to do the same, and even more importantly, to learn CPR. CPR! Oscar's mom says you can sign up for a CPR class or even learn to do it by watching a video, just as long as you do it. Here in South Florida, preserving the Everglades is a top priority. So recently, Governor Ron DeSantis traveled to Cox Science Center and Aquarium to announce a huge new funding package for Everglades restoration. With the Everglades exhibit at the Cox Science Center and Aquarium as a backdrop, Governor Ron DeSantis announced that he plans to approve more state funding to clean up the Everglades and improve South Florida's water quality.
That's going to be really, really meaningful.
The amount in question, $1.5 billion, which was included in the budget passed by the legislature for the fiscal year that begins July 1st.
This will mean, from January of 2019 to the present, $6.5 billion that the state has invested in Everglades restoration and water quality improvements, and that's more than any period in the state of Florida's entire history.
The funding will support projects across South Florida, including $100 million to pay for the second phase of the C-51 reservoir in western Palm Beach County,
which will support the water needs of Palm Beach and Broward counties while also reducing freshwater discharges to the Lake Worth Lagoon, and that will improve the quality of water in this region.
The governor says while he may veto some line items in the budget, this one will make it through. A local musician is educating people about the beauty and culture of African drumming. We caught up with Abasi Hanif during a class at Mandel Public Library. These rhythms are more than just music to Abasi Hanif. They're part of how he feels and who he is.
To me, the importance of African drumming is reconnecting with our African culture as African Americans. Levels of rooting and healing comes with it.
Abasi has been an African percussionist and spoken word poet for many years. Every time he plays the drums, those feelings go even deeper.
As African Americans, we know we have ancestry that goes into Africa for hundreds of years, and drumming and dancing is all a part of that.
On this day, Abasi is sharing his art with children and their parents at the Mandel Public Library.
The words are ago and ame, right? Whenever I say ago, that means it's like a call. It's like can you hear me? It's like a hey. And when you say ago, it's like a oh, yeah, we hear you.
Teaching them about technique and symbolism, sharing what it means to him and to them.
Feeling the pride that you feel by doing it and learning about it will create a better feeling about oneself. And if children feel better about themselves, they behave better, they act better, they carry themselves better, they want to learn better, they approach the world in a different way, and they become better people.
As the session progresses and drummers become more confident, the vibe can only be described as transcendent.
The drumming is something that just reaches to your soul. You just feel it.
And the children seem to sense that.
It felt natural, if that makes sense. It felt like I really knew what I was doing.
Clover's mom and many other adults in the room agreed.
It felt like we're all connected, you know?
It brings you back to the homeland of Africa and like our ancestry, you know, it really makes you feel connected.
And that, Abbasi says, is the whole point. You can find out about Abbasi's upcoming events by checking out his Live in the Rhythm Facebook and Instagram posts. If you like to walk along the waterfront, you may have noticed a pretty impressive collection of yachts docked there recently. They were all part of the Palm Beach International Boat Show. At the Palm Beach International Boat Show, with a record number of yachts lining the docks, the waterfront looked a bit like something out of a James Bond movie. The vessels were eye-catching and extremely pricey, as Mayor Keith James alluded to at the show's opening ceremony.
The best boat to have is a friend with the boat. So I think I got at least 800 friends out here today, right?
Your friend would need nearly $14 million to own this yacht. It's 150 feet of pure luxury with room for 12 guests and 9 crew members.
So up here on the flybridge, we have a beautiful lounging area.
Broward County native Josh Marshall used to crew on yachts like this one. Yes, just like on Bravo's Below Deck. After getting married, he traded year-round traveling for selling high-end yachts at home, and he hasn't looked back since.
I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, being out on the water, spending time on boats, and just fell in love with the idea of being on boats and the passion that I had for the water and boating. I just decided to make it a career.
Potential customers spend hours checking out all types of yachts, taking their shoes off before climbing aboard, getting a feel for them, sometimes even taking a ride. Their reasons for being here range from just browsing. Are you tempted?
Well, always tempted.
To looking for their next spectacular toy.
Looking for about 30 to 35 foot cabin cruiser.
And even though most of us can't afford the multi-million-dollar price tags on these mega yachts, we're still reaping the benefits.
Looks perfect.
That's because the boat show employed 15,000 people, and visitors spent money not just at the show itself, but also at restaurants, bars, and stores all over town, which was a big boost to our local economy. Most of the really big yachts have moved on for now, but you can still see a few along our downtown waterfront. The West Palm Beach Police Department is getting ready to launch drones to help keep our city safe. We had a chance to see how their training is going. Take a look. Up in the sky above this empty field, a drone flies in a seemingly random way. It's being operated by a police officer during training, and it's supposed to be following a very specific path above these targets before landing on one of them. The officers on this drone team have to complete their training and become certified as remote pilots by the Federal Aviation Administration. Once they do that, they'll be using the drones to help keep the city safe.
The reason for this is we're starting a drone as first responder program at the police department.
Detective Haven Sipple had already been flying drones and shooting video with them as a hobby. Now he's brushing up on his skills and getting ready to put them to good use on the job.
They started talking about the team. They asked for people with knowledge about it, and I volunteered.
The drones will be deployed during festivals and other events. They'll also be used to investigate 911 calls, ShotSpotter alerts, and other situations.
It puts you in a position where you're not blocked by buildings, you're not blocked by trees, so you can actually cover more area faster.
Outfitted with cameras, the drones can record video and also transmit images live. They have infrared thermal capabilities to detect heat, which will help police find suspects and victims as well. They're expecting to be good to go very soon.